You've seen it in action. Now let's talk about the dreaded stuff, cleaning the shotgun. Well, it's actually quite easy. I like to use the brush with the rope to clean my shotguns. Quite easy, very quick. Now you can easily just feed this down the tube and pull at the other end. Or there's another way. Let me show you. The good thing about these shotguns is that they're really easy to pull apart, and they come with a booklet that shows you step by step how to dismantle the whole gun, including the trigger mechanism and all of that. But it's pretty simple to pull the barrel off. So just unscrew this top cap, put it away nice and safely, and believe it or not, give it a bit of a pull, catch the two plastic pads over here, and the barrel comes off complete. So put the rest of the gun aside, and there's the barrel. So the good thing about that is you can get on the inside there and give that a nice clean inside, and you can just put your rope through here. Makes it a bit easier than trying to get it in the other way. I'll just make some room here in my very cluttered desk, and that's it. It's through the other side. I'll let that hang, pull it through, gets the brush through first, so the brush comes through first, and that's the rest wipes it. Now I usually do that at least 4 times, and then just sit the barrel back on and you're done. So now that the barrel's cleaned, we've put it aside, we've given the outside a bit of a wipe, let's disassemble the rest of the shotgun. And that's actually a lot easier than you think. Now, the very first thing that you do, and I've already done it on this one, is you cock it all the way back and then release it with the lever release so it comes forward. And then we pop out this and just put it aside, but not too far away because we will need it. And then this whole assembly will come out. All you've got to do is make sure that this always lines up. I'll just turn it around so you can actually see it. This part here, because that sometimes will stop it coming out. So if you're sitting there tugging on it, it won't come out. Now, the important part is to remember that the tail end always goes to the bottom. So it goes towards the feeder. So that'll be important when it comes out. And now that we kept this aside, this is also a tool. And what this does, over here, there's a pin, and this actually holds the trigger assembly. So we'll just pop that, we'll turn it around the other way, and you'll see that it's just lifted it off slightly. And we'll get in here with the little cutout, the little groove that's on here, and that'll cock that back. It doesn't come out all the way. And now that's out, we can just keep it out, and we can actually remove the trigger assembly. So that comes out. So you can blow that down and wipe it if there's excessive oil anywhere, or and it's ready to put back in. I like to blow them out with my compressor, make sure that there's no gunk anywhere. Now, before you put that back in, there's something that's very important. There's a little gate on the inside. I'll bring it in so you can see it. And that is spring-loaded in there. So the reason that that's important is that unless you push that spring-loaded gate back, you're never going to get the trigger mechanism in. So I usually come in on the inside over here, and I'll show you how I do that now that I assemble. So now that I want to put the trigger mechanism in, before I do that, I'll just give that a little bit of a wipe inside there as well, because that's I could just see a little bit of oil in there. So now the very important part is that the pin is all the way out. I'm going to come in through this side and pull in that spring-loaded gate there, and that'll enable me to get it back and into position so I can get this pin in. Now, always a lot easier if you have a really small screwdriver. to come in on this side and make sure that this is lined up. It's easier when you look at it. That's not down enough, that's why. It needs to go down and back. Okay, and just like that, keeping pressure on the back side here on that pin, I was able to push it and lock it into position. So that's now in, and we're ready to put the next part in. Now remember that this always goes to the feeder side. Now, there's also another very important part. If by any chance you've hit the trigger and you've released the trigger, this will not go back in. You'll see that there's a pull that's kicked up. You've got to get a screwdriver to push it back down again, otherwise it will not let this go back. So now that I've got that in, I'll flip it upside down so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put this back in, and I'm going to push it all the way back. And then I thought I'd sit down to make my life a bit easier and refit these in so they're nice and flush. Yep. So they're nice and flush now to the edge there. So the little lip goes on the inside, and you make sure that you're always trying to fit them with the flat bit up against the barrel. So grab the rest of the firearm and get the feeder tube, and I'll start feeding it in. And then we make sure that it lines up over here as it goes in. And then the other hand, you grab this little bottom bit that always gets in the way of everything. So there's two little tubes that come down, and then grab the barrel from the top. I'll come a bit lower so you know what I'm talking about. I'll just readjust the camera there, sorry about the, and I'll just give that a pull, and you'll see that now the barrel has butted up against the housing again. And we'll get the retaining screw here, the cap, the retaining cap. We'll screw that back on. Make sure it's nice and tight, because if it's not and you destroy the threads, you're going to take a shot and your barrel's going to take off, and we don't want that to happen. So that's nice and tight. We get the lever release, press a button, and you'll see that that's kicked back forward, so it's working fine. Work back and forward a couple of times, nice and loose. You've successfully cleaned your Sulun arms Tactoras. See you on the next video.